And we're live. What is happening, everybody? How we doing tonight? Patrick, welcome into the live stream. How you doing? I'm going to talk about some DraftKings FanDuel, giving you guys the top picks to get in that green cash line. As always, guys, we're going to go game by game. We got a 7-gamer tonight, so should be a good one. And it looks, don't want to jinx myself, but I think we got some strong connection tonight on the stream, because I know last night it was a little frustrating, but hopefully that should be all set, and let's talk about it. So we're going to talk about DraftKings first. Game by game, as always, Cleveland taking on Atlanta is the first game on the slate. We have John Collins listed as out, Lauri Markkanen listed as out. Obviously, those guys both going to have some impacts on the rotation. Danilo Gallinari and TLC are going to be looking like much better plays on the Atlanta side of things. Specifically, Danilo Gallinari, though. And all the Atlanta wings specifically. I mean, DeAndre Hunter at 4.6 I think looks really good. I've got him projected to play 35 minutes now at that price tag. He's going to grade out as a really great play. 0.73 DK points per minute on the season. Do like him there. Obviously, you know, like I talked about, certainly wanting to get some exposure to Danilo Gallinari on the Atlanta side. And the other guy I really want to be talking about is Trae Young. I mean, Trae Young at 9.3 is looking really good in my projection model, I'm not going to lie. So his price tag's come way down as of late from 9.3. You know, he's been all the way up to like 10.1. At a 9.3 price tag, my projection's really, really liking Trae Young. So I will say that right off the bat. He's looking like someone that you definitely want to be getting a lot of exposure to over here on DraftKings. And Clint Capella at 5.3. I mean, Clint Capella looks a lot better with there being no John Collins. The minutes have been somewhat limited, but maybe he gets a little bit extra run. You know, you could hope. He played 31 minutes last time out after only playing 21 and 21 the last two. So I think the minutes tick up for Clint Capella. They're going to need him in the front court, too. Like, who's going to guard, you know, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley? Danilo Gallinari, not exactly a traditional big. So I think Clint Capella's minutes ramp up here, and for that reason, I'm pretty interested in him as well. And then running it back on the other side with Cleveland, I do think it's pretty simple. But, I mean, Darius Garland definitely leads the way with usage. He's my top play at 7.4. Once again, really cheap. Once again, looking pretty enticing on my projection model, and definitely a guy that I want to be loading up on tonight. I love Darius Garland, I think, all over the place. So Atlanta's not good defensively. Looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool as far as how they fare on the season. They are 28th overall in points per possession rank, 24th in half-court points per play rank, 17th in half-court percentage of plays rank. So they allow a lot of plays, a lot of points. And I certainly want to be targeting Darius Garland. Most confident player prop tonight, Vladimir says. I like the Anthony Edwards over points a lot. Tat My Life, Fire, how you doing, Tat? Welcome in, Vancouver. Thoughts on Melton if Ja Morant's out? I'm going to love Melton. I always love Melton. And when you take someone off the floor to give him more minutes, I'm going to like him a lot because his upside's massive. So, yes, I will like Melton if there is no Ja Morant. Absolutely. Second game on the slate, we have Dallas taking on Miami. And this game comes in right now with a 209.5 over under. Miami's one of the biggest, you know, slow-paced spots in the league. So not exactly a spot you want to be targeting all the time when, you know, you're taking on a Miami squad. So not going to be a good spot for Luka Doncic at 12K. The guy's been phenomenal from a fantasy point per minute aspect. Just the pace isn't going to be there. So you can make an argument to pay up for him. This might be a good night to be fading Luka just based upon his price tag and, you know, the game environment. You might be able to go down to some cheaper guys that could produce at the same rate. You know, Giannis is expected to play, and he's in a 237 over-under, so I think I'd rather take the 200 discount on him. You have Jason Tatum. I mean, that's kind of a slow-paced game, too. But Karl Anthony Towns, LaMelo Ball, and really fast up-tempo games. Ja Morant, if he does play, looks pretty good. So this game is one that I'm a little bit dicey on. I mean, Jimmy Butler's listed as questionable. That's the biggest piece of news. If Jimmy Butler's out, that's obviously going to open up even more usage when we already are dealing with no Tyler Hero. So on the Miami side, I think things get a little bit more interesting. You know, obviously if Jimmy Butler's out, some of these guys are going to look even better. For the time being, as far as some of my favorite options on the Miami side, just looking at things here, Kyle Lowry at 6'4". I mean, you take Tyler Hero out of the equation, especially if there's no Jimmy Butler. Really looks like a great play here at a 6'4" price tag. So he's someone I would certainly want to be getting a lot of exposure to. Got him projected to play 33 minutes. He's played 36 the last two times out. So I would say I'm even projecting him a little bit on the light side. So the fact that he grades out pretty well for me on that end, I think he's going to be a great play. I like Caleb Martin a lot as well. He's only 3.1. That's a very cheap price tag over here on DraftKings. You get a nice discount if he's in. He is listed as questionable. So just keep that in mind. But they did sign him to a standard NBA contract for the remainder of the season. And, if he's going to play 20, 25 minutes in this one, which I've got him projected to play 21, he puts up 0.83 DK points per minute on the season. He's only 3-1. If you take Jimmy Butler out of the equation, he's going to be looking even better. So, Caleb Martin, certainly someone I'm looking to. Kyle Lowry, like I talked about. PJ Tucker at 3.5 is actually pretty intriguing to me as well. Just strictly from a minutes upside. I mean, obviously, he's not the best fantasy point producer in the league, but I mean, I got to be honest. At a 3.5 price tag, his production is pretty good. He puts up 0.73 DraftKings points per minute. So the fact that he's only 3.5 with the massive minutes that he's going to play, typically 30+ minutes a game, I don't hate it. PJ not exactly your top fantasy point producer in the league, but I really don't hate it at this price tag. You got to kind of play with the salaries, and this salary's kind of looking pretty friendly. So just keep your eyes on that Jimmy Butler news. Obviously, if he's out, all these other guys are going to become a lot more intriguing than they already are. Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent would become even better tournament plays. So keep your eyes on that Jimmy news. Third game on the slate, we got Boston taking on Philadelphia. As far as the total in this game comes with a 209.5 over-under to 2-point spread in favor of the Boston Celtics, so expected to stay close, but expected to be pretty slow-paced. Biggest piece of news for us in this game is we do have Robert Williams and Marcus Smart listed as questionable. Obviously, big news. Derek White probably going to become a really great play if there's no Marcus Smart. If Robert Williams is out, we're going to be taking a much harder look to an Al Horford, and Daniel Tice is expected to be available tonight as well. So I think those two guys would be. I mean, Daniel Tice used to play for the Celtics team. They absolutely loved him in Boston. He's minimum salary at $3K. I do think he's pretty intriguing at this salary point. If there is no Robert Williams, he becomes someone that I think I might be loading up on. So certainly keep your eyes on that news. Keep your eyes on this Celtics news. I mean, if there's no Marcus Smart, that's just going to make it so that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum get even more usage than they already do. They dominate so much of the usage as is. And I think those two guys could become really fantastic tournament plays with some serious upside. So Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, certainly worth monitoring with this Marcus Smart, Robert Williams news. And then, like I said, Derek White and Al Horford at 5.6 and 5.4 respectively just become smash plays at those price tags. That's going to be too cheap if those guys are out. So that's the biggest piece of news. Running it back on the Philadelphia side as far as I'm looking to. I mean, Joel Embiid continues to dominate the usage on this team. They just shipped off Seth Curry and Andre Drummond, so he doesn't have to worry about Andre Drummond cutting into his minutes. Seth Curry usage is out of there. That is actually going to help Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey a lot as well, I should mention. So those two guys become much more intriguing plays until we see James Harden join this team, which he hasn't yet. They're going to be much more intriguing plays, and specifically Joel Embiid, though. I mean, the upside is just massive. You take Andre Drummond out, I think the minutes are going to be there. And like I said, we talked about Luka Doncic at 12K. Joel Embiid's 11.6. Trae Young's 9.3. I was kind of talking about some guys in that range. Jason Tatum. If there is indeed no Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, then, that's kind of going to impact our pay-up options. So that's where my head's at tonight. I do like Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey. Matisse Thybulle at set 3.8 is going to continue to play massive minutes as well. Not the best fantasy point producer in the league, but he's going to play, 32 minutes a game at only 3.8 price tag. That's enough to at least have somewhat interest in him. And I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anyone here. Philly, Boston, as far as anyone else that's grading out really good for me. I mean, I think Georges Niang is a somewhat decent option. He's someone that I wouldn't want to leave out here. He's priced at a 3.3 price tag. He puts up 0.72 DK points per minute on the season. Price tag's pretty cheap. Like I said, they've gotten rid of a couple guys, so his minutes are up a little bit. But he's still battling for minutes with Danny Green and stuff, so it's tournaments only for him. He hasn't had a big game in a long time here, actually. He was on a hot streak there for a minute a while back, I remember, but he hasn't really done much, so yeah. Tat says, love Maxey over in assists. Yeah, don't hate it. I mean, the pace isn't quite there, but once again, no Seth Curry. Doesn't have to compete with the other guys for, on-ball handling responsibilities. So, with that being said, he's only had 2 assists in his last 2 games, so, But that's where you're going to. That's where you're going to, so don't hate it. Indiana taking on Milwaukee. Next game on the slate. This game comes in with a huge total, guys. It's a 237 over-under, 14-point spread in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks. So expected to possibly turn into a blowout, unfortunately. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. Lots of usage to go around on the Indiana side. We've seen Tyrese Halliburton step into this team and have a really big role. Priced at 8.5. Over his last 2, he's put up 40, 57 DraftKings points last time out. Really great game. Once again, gets another fast, up-tempo game. So I'm certainly willing to load up on some Tyrese Halliburton in this one. As far as anyone else that I'm looking to, On the Milwaukee side, obviously, if Giannis is out, that'd be a big piece of news. Not expected to, though. He's listed as probable. So I think Giannis is a great pay-up option. I talked about it. I think I'd rather play Giannis than Luka tonight, just based upon their price tags. It's a little bit dicey because there's still no Kristaps Porzingis in Dallas, and his usage is really high. Luka. So don't get me wrong. If you want to go the other way, I wouldn't call you crazy, but I like Bobby Portis a lot at 6'7" as well. Price tag's really cheap. Upside's really there, so I like that. Buddy Hield at 6K. Continuing to see a lot of minutes now in Indiana. Going to be intriguing. And the whole Indiana starting lineup, I mean, if the minutes are there, you got to be targeting these guys. Halliburton, Stevenson, Brissett, Goga, all playing, a lot of minutes. So, with that being said, no issues with going to O'Shea, Brissett, Buddy Hield, and Tyrese Halliburton. Those three guys specifically, I mean, they've really ramped it up. 47 and 42 DraftKings points the last time out for O'Shea, Brissett. So, that's pretty intriguing to me. And as long as Chris Duarte remains out, I think those three guys are going to continue to play massive minutes. As far as anyone else on this Indiana side, we've seen Terry Taylor play a few more minutes, but not looking too intriguing. I mean, Lance Stevenson, I don't want to leave him out. He's looking like a really great play. Jalen Smith at 3.9 as well, looking like a good play here. So 4K and 3.9 for both of those guys. Jalen Smith at 3.9. Last time out, 23 minutes, 36 DraftKings points. That was phenomenal. So, if this game turns into a blowout or something, he might have some upside. He's a really good fantasy point producer. And the same can be said for Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson putting up 1.02 DK points per night in the season. Who would have thought Lance would be back in Indiana doing this? So that's always fun. And Jalen Smith's putting up 1.08 DK points per minute. So both guys grading out like great plays. Like I said, O'Shea Brissett grading out as a great play. Bobby Portis grading out as a great play for me. And yeah, I think other guys we kind of talked about. I mean, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, obviously the secondary options to Giannis. If he is indeed out, they become even better plays. But if you're fading Giannis, going to a Drew Holiday and a Chris Middleton makes sense. If you're playing Giannis, they're pretty negatively correlated. So just keep that in mind, man, because you don't want to be building negatively correlated lineups. Exceed says, "What up, bro? How you doing, man? Welcome into the stream. Hope you're having a good night. Just going game by game here on DraftKings. We're going to talk about FanDuel as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat. We got Charlotte taking on Minnesota, the next game on the slate. This game's going to be really fast, up-tempo, going to be a phenomenal game environment. Going to want to be getting a lot of exposure here. It's a 244 over-under. I mean, this thing's pushing a 250 over-under, guys. So load up, because this is like unheard of in today's NBA. There was a time, I remember, I don't know, I'm not good with years, but a couple years ago, probably back to like the 2018 season or something, where these type of totals were becoming very common. They kind of switched things up this year, changed the reffing policies, made things a little bit tougher on the players as far as, these high scoring games and rules and all that stuff. But this game's right back up with the old totals, so I'm going to be capitalizing on it a big way, and this thing's really standing out. So who am I looking to is the next question. Everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's just a phenomenal game environment. I think you'd be looking to a Jared Vanderbilt at 4.7, Patrick Beverley at 5K on the Minnesota side for some value. Those are two guys that are popping for me from a value aspect. Vanderbilt's minutes have been fluctuating up and down, so it's a little bit risky. I think that Patrick Beverley's minutes are a little bit more solidified here at 5K. He's been playing 30 minutes a game, so I don't hate that. Then obviously the big three. I mean, I want to be loading up on Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo Russell. I think it kind of goes without saying. These guys should be playing massive minutes. These guys should be dominating the usage, and these guys should be able to have some massive ceiling games in this spot tonight. Anthony Edwards has been working his way up to like 39 minutes a game. Karl-Anthony Towns been playing like 37 minutes a game in close games. D'Angelo Russell at 7.3. Been working his way back from an injury, but he has been playing around 35 minutes a game in close games. He's 7.3. Charlotte, one of the best possible matchups you could ask for. The pace is going to be phenomenal. So I'm loading up on these guys, and then I'm loading up on the other Charlotte starters. LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Kelly Oubre. There's still no Gordon Hayward, which really makes me feel a lot better about playing, Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier, LaMelo Ball. That one guy being out goes a long way. So I really like loading up on these guys. Hayward being out makes it a lot easier to really want to do so. And, yeah, man, that's where my head's at. So Kelly Oubre at 5.9, lots of upside. Mason Plumlee at 5.5. Montrezl Harrell is now in this rotation. As far as the amount of minutes we've been seeing him play, he did play 29 minutes last time out. So That's something that's a little bit intriguing in your tournament lineups. He's a really great fantasy point producer, and the same can be said for PJ Washington. So there are just so many great values in this game. I mean, I think the obvious approach is just be loading up on all the starters that get the massive minutes. So Karl-Anthony Towns, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Terry Rozier, Miles Bridges, D'Angelo Russell, Kelly Oubre. I really think you could just be getting a ton of exposure. You're probably going to want to... Bogdan Bogdanovic is on pace to play. Danilo Gallinari is going to remain in the starting lineup. Those are the latest updates, guys, for Atlanta. So that news just did come through for Atlanta. So Bogdan's expected to be in. Gallinari is going to remain in the starting lineup. So if you didn't know that, we just did get confirmation on that. So just want to make sure you know that. And yeah, where was I? I mean, wrapping up on this, Jimmy Butler's on track to play Tuesday. That's another update that just came through. So Jimmy Butler probably going to be in. So probably not going to open up that value for the Miami side. But yeah, I would highly suggest getting a lot of exposure to this game. Terry Rozier, 66 and 66 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. That's great stuff. LaMelo Ball at 9-1, 67-60 before putting up 35 last time. I think these guys are just going to go crazy in this game environment, and I want to be capitalizing. So load up on all these guys that get lots of minutes in both rotations would be my advice here. Taurean Prince, Malik Beasley, 3-7, 3-6. I mean, maybe you could go to some of these secondary options. I think you're getting a little bit cute doing that. But if there was ever time for them to get there in a game environment, this would be it. I would just rather go to the main candidates, you know. I don't think it's necessary to really go to these guys too much. Just trying to look and make sure I'm not missing anything. Charlotte, Montrezl Harrell does look pretty great for me, so I will admit that. Already talked about it, though. Minnesota, Patrick Beverley, obviously. We already talked about that. D'Angelo Russell, we already talked about it. Miles Bridges. I mean, all the guys we talked about. LaMelo Ball. PJ Washington, yeah. I mean, they all look great. So, I'll be loading up on this game for sure, man. It seems too easy. If people are going to try to fade it and get cute, I'll be overweight on it, so... Memphis taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Next game on the slate comes in with a 228.5 over-under. It's a 4.5-point spread in favor of the Memphis Grizzlies, so expected to stay close. Obviously, a big piece of news in this game is the Ja Morant news. If Ja Morant is out, that's really going to impact this rotation. We're certainly going to be taking a much harder look to a Jaren Jackson Jr. or Desmond Bane. I already like those guys quite a bit as is. Considering Ja Morant hasn't had a questionable tag for quite some time, I kind of think he's going to sit out. This is the front end of a back-to-back set, so I mean, there's a solid chance they just give them the rest in the first half of the back-to-back, run some of these other guys, and then maybe rule out some other guys in the second half of the back-to-back. So for me, obviously, you know, D'Anthony Melton at 4.8, he becomes a phenomenal play if there's no Ja Morant. It's not even a question. The guy's fantasy point per minute production is really good. Always grades out was a great play for me in my projection model when the minutes are there, and if the minutes are there, I can guarantee you he's going to bump up really high to one of the best point per dollar plays on the slate. So that's where my head's at if he's out. Obviously, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, and whoever starts in this lineup would become really intriguing. So Steven Adams, Brandon Clark, D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson off the bench, Tyus Jones at 3-2. I believe Tyus Jones was listed as questionable in this one. Nope. I saw something on some Jones. Maybe it was the other. Maybe it was the San Antonio Spurs Jones. But anyways, yeah, obviously, if there's no Ja Morant, these guys become much more intriguing. Zaire Williams has been running a lot of minutes. Tyus Jones has become much better, but D'Anthony Melton's certainly my favorite of the two. Kyle Anderson could get some more minutes as well. Marcus Gasol is listed in the DraftKings lobby. He's not a thing right now, though. And as far as anyone else I'm looking to, I mean, those are the main candidates. Steven Adams wouldn't really get that big of a bump if there's no Ja Morant, but he has been performing at a very high rate. 44 and 42 DraftKings points in only 16 and 26 minutes the last 2 times out. That's really good stuff in some very limited amount of minutes. So, but I mean, it's Jaren Jackson, it's Desmond Bane, and it's D'Anthony Melton as my top 3 if there's no Ja Morant. And I certainly would want to be getting a lot of exposure to them. And then running it back on the other side with the New Orleans Pelicans, I think it's pretty simple at this point. They've kind of formed their own big 3. It's Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum. So those 3 guys are really the ones I'm looking to load up on their side. And just keep in mind they are negatively correlated. So I'd be looking to get a maximum of 2 of those guys per lineup just because they're going to have a hard time all getting there. With the exception of this 244 over-under. I'm not typically playing like 3 guys from one team. But that one I'm willing to make an exception, I will say, tonight. So, but yeah, just waiting on that Ja Morant news. That's obviously really big. And that will certainly impact where we're going. And this one, And I think it's a pretty good job of just breaking down where we're looking overall. Devontae Graham at 4.7 does look pretty decent at a discount. I'm just really concerned about Devontae Graham's usage now that CJ McCollum's in town. I just think he's gonna he'll probably have a big game here and there, but I think his usage is really gonna be hurt. And I've been saying that I've been targeting his under a lot on player props, and he's managed to go out there and put up 10 and 12 DraftKings points the last 2 times out with the addition to CJ McCollum. I think it's really hurting Devontae Graham. So for me, I mean, he does grade out as a pretty great play from a projection model aspect, but I'm a little bit dicey on Devontae Graham. I got a projected play 27 minutes, 0.84 DK points per minute in the season. That's going to make him grade out as a decent value here, but it's a little bit scary with a new addition to CJ. You know, they have BI, CJ, just kind of soak up all that usage. Not nearly as confident in him as I once was. All right, guys, looks like we got 22 people in here, only 7 likes. If you're enjoying this stream, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you haven't signed up for the sponsor of the program, Prize Picks, go ahead and do so, guys. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100. We got one last game on DraftKings, then we're going to jump on over to FanDuel. So if you have any questions in the chat, please do let me know, and I will gladly answer them. LA Clippers taking on the Phoenix Suns. It's a 222.5 over under 13-point spread in favor of the Phoenix Suns. So blowout city's definitely a concern here. As always with the Suns, Norman Powell is listed as out on the LA Clippers side of things. So I do think that makes Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, Luke Kennard look like much better options. Problem is they have to take on a very good defense in the Phoenix Suns. I'm looking at my defensive half-court and putbacks tool as far as how the Suns grade out defensively. They're the 3rd best team in the league in points per possession rank, 4th best in points per play rank in the half-court setting, 5th best in putbacks. They really don't allow a lot of second opportunities. They really don't allow a lot of points, and their defense is very stout. So for me, it's a little bit dicey. I mean, Reggie Jackson's been phenomenal as of late, so definitely can go there. Marcus Morris continuing to see, decent amount of starter minutes. Hasn't had the biggest game in the world. If you want to go to Marcus Morris, Trey Mann, should get a bump up in usage with there being no more Norman Powell. I think he's one of the most interesting options. He's put up 37 and 46 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. The price tag is low enough to where even though it's not the best matchup in the world, he could actually get you there compared to some of these other guys that are priced up a lot more. So Terrence Mann definitely grading out as the best option for me on the LA Clippers side of things. I think Nicholas Batum and Isaiah Hartenstein, though, might take the cake for me. I mean, the 3.5 and 3.4. Nicholas Batum at only a 3.5 price tag. I've got him projected to play 30 minutes right now. He played 29 minutes last time out. Putting up 0.82 DK points per minute on the season, he's going to look like one of the best plays on the slate for me. So even though it's a tough matchup here, if he's able to get up to those 30 minutes at a 3.5 price tag, obviously that's going to grade out really, really great for us. It is a little bit scary with the blowout and everything, but he's just really cheap. The production's there. The minutes are there. Everything's grading out for him to be a pretty great play. Terrence Mann, like I talked about on the LA Clippers side, just taking advantage of the guys that are going to get bumps up with there being no more Norman Powell. Reggie Jackson at 6'4" does look pretty good as well. The biggest question is, does this game stay close? And Vegas is telling us there's a solid chance it doesn't with a 13-point spread. So a little bit dicey. Chris Paul gets to take on his former team in the LA Clippers if you want to ride the narrative. Regardless, Chris Paul's 8-8. His assist upside has been ridiculous. 11, 12, 19, 15 as of late. And if the game stays close, he's only 8-8. That's a very reasonable price tag for a stud like him. And the same can be said for Devin Booker. Both their price tags starting to drop. I think that has to do with a lot of blowouts. And the Phoenix Suns also starting to get a lot healthier. They were without quite a few guys there for quite some time. So Devin Booker and Chris Paul's usage really had to take a step up. Now they got all these guys back. If the game turns into a blowout, they can throw in a Cam Johnson, a Torrey Craig, a JaVale McGee, a Bismack Biyombo. They have DeAndre Ayton back now, Jake Crowder back. All these guys are taking usage away from those two. So while that's a little bit scary as far as the usage being taken away, the fact of the matter is the price tags continue to dip, and certainly could buy on that dip. Definitely do not hate it. DeAndre Ayton at 6'6", if you're pivoting off them, would be my that'd be my approach. If you think this game turned into a blowout, or there's got to be production from someone on this team. So I do think that DeAndre Ayton's a nice pivot off from Chris Paul or Devin Booker if you're going with them. But overall, my favorite option, I think it's got to be Chris Paul. I mean, he's 400 more than Devin Booker, but the fact of the matter is he offers more peripheral stats than Devin Booker. Devin Booker, you're kind of reliant on strictly his scoring. Chris Paul, he can get you there with points, assists, rebounds, all the above. So if this game does turn into a blowout for some reason, I think he'll be a big part of that. And Devin Booker, on the other hand, the game kind of has to stay close throughout, and he has to be getting a lot of buckets for him to really get you there at his price tag typically. So that's kind of my approach here, guys, for DraftKings. We're going to switch on over to FanDuel. I know Tap My Life is going to be real excited about that. My, the FanDuel extraordinaire. So we're going to talk about it. But, I mean, a lot of the things that apply on DraftKings, obviously, you're going to apply to FanDuel. But we're going to talk about some pricing discrepancies as well. Nicholas Batum's only 3.7. Once again, I've got him projected to play 30 minutes. Really cheap price tag on both websites. So he is grading out like a really great play for me. Not the best matchup. Phoenix is really good defensively, but the fact of the matter is the minutes are there, the upside is there, and the price tag's there. So I do like Nicholas Batum for sure in this spot tonight. Would definitely be willing to get some exposure to him. Jonas Valanciunas continues to be like criminally underpriced over here on FanDuel. His upside has been somewhat limited as of late for some reason. They just don't want to give him the same amount of minutes that they were getting him earlier in the season. Played 28 minutes last time up, put up 37.8 FanDuel points. Taking on a Storm team in the Memphis Grizzlies. I think it is a good matchup for him. Just the minutes have been somewhat capped. So I've got him projected to play 31. He played 28 last time. That game did turn into a blowout, though, down the stretch. So I think that had somewhat to do with the early pull of JV. But the fact of the matter is 6'7" is just a really good price tag. So I like going to him. Kyle Lowry at 5'9". We did get confirmation that Jimmy Butler is expected to play, so he's not going to be as good of a play as he would have been if Jimmy Butler was out. But the fact of the matter remains, once again, very cheap price tag, lots of usage to go around. The pace in this game isn't exactly the best, but I'm willing to go there at this price tag. Just too cheap, so he grades out as a great play for me. In this one, obviously the Charlotte and Minnesota game, I'm loading up on big time. Miles Bridges is only 7.4 over here. LaMelo Ball is only 8.7. I'm going to want to be loading up on all the Charlotte. I mean, Anthony Edwards at 8.4. Really going to like him. Miles Bridges at 7.4. Really going to like him. Desmond Bane at 6.3. If there is no John Morant, becomes a really interesting option. So he already is a great option, but if there's no John Morant, that goes up even more. We talked about Terrence Mann at 6K. With there being no more Norman Powell, he's really taken a big step forward, so I don't hate going there. At the point guard position, Trae Young, 10-2, priced up a little bit more appropriate over here. Like LaMelo Ball at 8.7 in that fast up-tempo game. D'Angelo Russell at 7.9. I really like Darius Garland on both websites, taking on an Atlanta squad. So he's someone that I would certainly be willing to get a lot of exposure to. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else I'm missing off the top of my head here. But I think we did a pretty good job of going over it. Yeah, I mean, all the guys I just kind of mentioned, D'Angelo Russell. Joel Embiid at the center position at 11.6. I do think he's worth the pay-up option. Obviously, with there being no more Seth Curry and stuff, I talked about it. But his usage has been really high. So I like going there. And then the Indiana guys we talked about, if the game can stay close between them and Milwaukee, there's a lot of usage and minutes going around right now to these guys. So I'm certainly willing to capitalize a lot on that. Tyrese Halliburton, he's 9K over here on FanDuel. But, I mean, the assist upside, the points upside, all that stuff's really high right now. He put up 52 FanDuel points last time out. So, definitely want to go to Halliburton. And then, obviously, Buddy Hield and Brissett we talked about a lot as well in this game tonight. The minutes are just massive right now. So, Buddy Hield, he's only 6K. He has shooting guard and small forward eligibility. So, I'm certainly willing to go to him. He's a little bit scoring reliant at times, which is a little bit dicey for me. But the fact that, I mean, he's 6K. The upside's definitely there. And then I talked about O'Shea Brissett. He's 6'8", though. His price tag is starting to climb way up over here on FanDuel. The price tag is certainly different. He put up 44 and 40 the last 2 times out. So if you want to go there, I mean, the price tag is certainly not looking as friendly as I would like it to. But and then Jaren Jackson at 7.9. Especially if there's no John Morant, he's going to take a big leap forward for me over here on FanDuel. I already said Darius Garland, Desmond Bane, they look like great plays. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of covering it over here. Evan Mobley's another guy that grades out like a pretty great play, taking on an Atlanta squad tonight. And the price tag's pretty friendly over here on FanDuel. He's only 7K. I think Kevin Love at 5'6" is somewhat intriguing as well on that Cleveland side of things. So, if you want to go to those two guys, don't hate it. Obviously, Bobby Portis at 6'6" is going to continue to be a great play. Al Horford, if there's no Robert Williams, really going to stand out if there's no Robert Williams. So, definitely keep your eyes on that news. And I do think that Daniel Tice could see a decent amount of run. And Robert Williams was just ruled out. Right on cue. Right on cue, guys. So, Al Horford, Al Horford's going to be a great play now. Daniel Tight's going to be a great play. Marcus Smart is in. So no Robert Williams, but Marcus Smart is in, guys. That is the latest update. Right on cue. Perfect. So we were just talking about it. So yeah, Al Horford becomes a really great play now. At a 6.5 price tag. He's cheap over there on DraftKings as well. So yeah, just want to make sure I get to all your questions, guys. Dave says, just got on late. What game or team should I just target for DraftKings GPPs? Minnesota versus Charlotte. Yeah, that's my favorite. Tap my life 100%. I like both teams a lot. So the main usage guys, the guys that get the most minutes, like that. I got Bane and Melton in case no Morant. Yeah, I definitely like that. On FanDuel, I have money left for Valanciunas and Edwards or Towns and Crowder. Which would you take? I mean, you got to go with Valanciunas and Edwards there. Crowder just isn't even comparable to those two plays. So, you know, your opportunity cost is a little bit too high going with the other one. 9K for Halliburton would kill me. Val and Edwards. Yeah, I agree, Tat. Core plays really help me build. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, if you guys haven't become a premium content member, you can. I do offer premium content. You know, the Patreon projections on FanDuel and DraftKings. And Tat, yeah, I think the core plays crushed last night over there on FanDuel, so I think you would have been pretty happy with that. Let's just say if you want to become part of the community, hit that link. I just put it in the chat, patreon.com/KJK_DFS. You'll get access to the Discord, the projections, the core plays. And, yeah, I know my FanDuel lineups performed very well last night with my cores, so I would love to have you join the team. I do offer a DraftKings and FanDuel package. I do offer a PrizePicks package, and I do offer a combo package. If you play DraftKings, FanDuel, and PrizePicks, you can get both at a discount for $34.99. So if you're getting really serious about NBA DFS, playing every single night, would highly recommend it. Tat, I appreciate you saying the core plays are helping you because I put a lot of effort into the tools and providing you with that content. So I appreciate your support. Thank you. Nacho Man says, what's up, KJK? Just getting in. Did you mention who your lock of the night is? I don't have a lock of the night because I didn't put out a video earlier. I've been putting out those videos less and less. I apologize. I'd really like to put one out. I think hopefully tomorrow's a smaller slate. It's just I got a lot going on, man. It's tough. So I've been putting out PrizePicks and then going live on these so that I have all the latest news to be able to reflect with you guys live. And then I go on my Patreon and I do my core plays and answer all the questions in the Discord. I'm hopefully going to be able to get you some more pre-recorded DraftKings FanDuel videos here soon. So I know people are missing that lock of the night segment. I've just been giving out my lock of the nights on the fly on the stream, but I mean, obviously, like I say every single time when people ask for it, we don't have the fancy dancy music, we don't have the fancy graphics or any of that. But I'll give you a lock of the night off the top of my head right now. If I had to go with a lock of the night, I mean, it's definitely going to be in this. It's definitely going to be in this Charlotte Minnesota game. I'll tell you that right away. And you know, which of these guys it would be, I guess, is the next question. I don't know. I like Darius Garland a lot too. I keep talking about Darius Garland, so I mean that's decent. But if I had to pick a lock of the night on the fly, man, just looking at the price tag on both websites, I mean, I think I got to go with LaMelo. LaMelo's 9-1 on DraftKings, over on FanDuel. It's priced pretty reasonably as well. Let's see. What is he over here on FanDuel? LaMelo. 8-7. Yeah, I just love LaMelo Ball in this spot tonight, man. Or Rozier. I talked about it on my PrizePicks video, but the depth at the guard position for the Charlotte Hornets right now is not looking good. Like, they have some really good backups at the forward positions and the center positions. They have Montrezl Harrell, PJ Washington. But look at who else they have for backups for the guards. They have James Bouknight, and then they literally they don't have backup guards right now. So I'm really high on both Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball. Picking one of them. I guess Terry Rozier is cheaper. All right, we'll lock that in. Terry Rozier will be my lock of the night. Based on price tag and based on upside, I think Terry Rozier has just as much upside as LaMelo on any given night. He's only 7.5 on FanDuel, and he's only 7.9 on DraftKings. So based on the price tag, the game environment, all that stuff, that's stuff that I think about before I do my lock of the night. Typically, you know, have my sheets up. I got a little bit of a first look projection, and I'm dialing all that stuff in. I want my lock of the night to like crush, not just barely get you there. So I think Terry Rozier's my lock, man. Just announced it. Terry Rozier. Get him. He's gonna be my cores on both websites. I can guarantee it. So. Matthew says Pat Beverly or Lowry on FanDuel. I think I gotta go with Pat Bev. Just a better game environment. And Jimmy Butler's in. If Jimmy Butler was out, I'd go with Lowry. I like Lowry a lot though, but it's just keep in mind, guys. Whenever I give you answers on this, I'm answering from a GPP aspect. Like if you're asking a question and you play cash games or something, you gotta let me know, and it helps if you let me know which website too. It's kind of tough to answer a question correctly if you have no context, but I just assume that everyone's playing the tournaments with like $100,000 to first on both websites, and that's how I answer these questions. If that's not you and you're playing like double ups or cash games or something, just to be fully honest and transparent with you, I do lean my content to tournaments. I think they're more popular for people. Personally, I'm a tournament player, so if you're playing like cash games or something, and I give you an answer, and your guy goes out there and puts up like 2 points because he was a tournament play, and I told you to play him, I'm not gonna feel bad. I just trying to clarify to you guys that that's what I do. I give a lot of advice on tournaments, and then if you want more advice on something else, yeah. Darius Garland plus the Hornets T-Wolves game is the lock. Joseph says, yeah. Joseph's been paying close attention. Yeah, exactly. I like that. JJ says, thoughts on Hield and CP3? I like Hield a lot. He's just very scoring reliant. So once again, he's kind of a tournament play, but the minutes have been way up since joining the Indiana Pacers. So it's just like if he's not getting buckets, he's not going to get you there. It's just how Buddy Hield scores his points. He has got a lot of points, rebounds and assists the last 2 games, though, with his new squad, with the amount of minutes he's getting. So, and he hasn't really put up that many points, 16, 13. So it is just a matter of time before he gets more points. CP3 I like a lot. It's just a matter of whether the game turns into a blowout. Even if it does, taking on an LA Clippers squad, the game is expected to blow out, but his price tag is reasonable. His assist usage has been really good, so I don't hate CP3, just the blowout. It's just the blowout concern. Nacho says, oh yeah, your locks always crush. Appreciate you, good brother. Yeah, absolutely, man. No problem. So Terry Rozier is my lock of the night. I'd like to produce another pre-templated video, man. I think I haven't done a lock of the night in like 4 or 5 days. I know you guys are probably having withdrawals. Vancouver says, thanks for answering all our questions, bro. Really means a lot to get your insight. Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Patrick says, let's get the likes up. Yeah, absolutely. We got 36 people in here. Only 11 likes. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the chat. I will gladly answer them, guys. Let's pull up the KJK DFS spreadsheets here, guys. This is a little bit of a preview of what you can get with the premium content package. This isn't even nearly close to what you get. I have like 16 different sheets with all of the different tools and stuff. My premium content members will tell you that, but then I have my FanDuel core plays, my DraftKings core plays. So it's kind of an idea of what you're going to see on the spreadsheets if you like to join. Matthew says, I'm the double up guy, LOL. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, bro. You got to let me know that. All right, well, if you're the double up guy and you're going Pat Bev or Lowry, I think I'd still go with Pat Bev. The minutes are there. The pace of the game is where I'm really is what is leaning towards me going with him for you. The pace is just a lot better in that game. So for me, that's kind of what I would be. It's kind of what I would be leaning on for sure. Joseph says viewers going up. Yeah, absolutely. 20 likes, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, honestly, these live streams haven't been getting that many viewers. I've been dealing with some technical difficulties. I'm sorry. Like sometimes I come in and the stream's working flawlessly tonight. This is fantastic. I wish it was like this every night. I have high-speed internet, direct connection. I don't know what happens. Sometimes the stream's just been lagging on me and my picture's bad, but I adjusted the settings so that you can at least hear me constantly and I don't drop out. So if you tune into my future live streams and that happens, like I apologize. I have all the correct settings on, the correct setup. It just sometimes happens. It's really frustrating, but just been doing my best to work with the punches. But I'm just gonna keep going live to help you guys out. Hopefully this keeps happening. This has gone flawlessly tonight. So yeah, I appreciate all the likes. Anyone that hits that like button, really do appreciate it. Thought about Adams over 9 rebounds on Prize Picks. It's a little bit versatile. I mean, Steven Adams is definitely a really great rebounder. So you know, if you want to go to him over there on Prize Picks, I don't hate it. But yeah, if you haven't watched my Prize Picks content, I have been releasing daily Prize Picks content. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100. I think I'm going to start getting a lot more prize picks questions on these streams, but I try to keep it the DraftKings and FanDuel on this one just because I cover all the prize pick stuff earlier. But, I'll answer your questions. I'm not trying to be like a jerk or anything. I'm just saying try to keep it DraftKings and FanDuel, but I'll certainly help you out with those questions as well. Emperor says, just tuned in, just hit the like button too. I appreciate that, Emperor. Thank you very much. Larry says, at Horford's price point, who do you think is better than Horford on DK within that same price point? Okay, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, now that Robert Williams is out, I think Horford's going to be like a really good play. Horford's 5'4", so I'm guessing the reason you're asking that, Larry, is because you're looking for a tournament pivot, which I respect. You don't want to play the high ownership. I will say I really do like Al Horford a lot tonight, so if I were to pivot off him, I think Clint Capella looks really good. There's no John Collins, so I think he plays a lot more minutes. And the Cleveland front court has some big guys, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley. So I think Clint Capella gets some more run tonight. So I talked about that earlier on the stream. And then some other pivots you could be going to. Jose Brissett's playing a lot of minutes now. Derek White, I would have had a lot more interest in if there's no Marcus Smart. Still grades out as a pretty decent play here for me. But yeah, if I had to pick a direct pivot off from Al Horford at the same price tag, I mean, Jose Brissett certainly makes a lot of sense if his ownership is going to be lower. He's put up 42 and 47 DraftKings points the last 2 times out. The Indiana Pacers continue to be pretty shorthanded, or not necessarily shorthanded, but the fact of the matter is there's a lot of more usage to go around with some of these trades that have occurred. So and they are somewhat shorthanded. So Lance Stevenson, Buddy Hield, Jose Brissett. So, yeah, Jose Brissett and Clint Capella would be my top 2 pivots in that price range. So, certainly willing to go there. Matthew says, what's your confidence in Vanderbilt getting to 5x as part of this game stack? Not too high, to be honest. My confidence level, it's certainly possible. So, I would definitely want to be getting some tournament exposure. The question becomes how many minutes does he play? And it does fluctuate based upon the matchup. When you look at the Charlotte Hornets matchup, they have Miles Bridges, Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier. They play kind of small, so, the Timberwolves could go from anywhere from Vanderbilt to Jaden McDaniels to Malik Beasley to Jordan McLaughlin. So, I do think he's a fantastic tournament play, but I'm not confident because the minutes have been fluctuating. So, I would be confident if he was still getting 35 minutes a game consistently, but he hasn't been. He's been down to 23, 25 the last 2 times out. So I like him a lot if he gets the minutes. The question is, does he get the minutes? And we don't really necessarily have confidence in that. And Matthew, from what you said earlier, as far as you being a double ups player, I would definitely not be going there. I would be going to some other guys that we know are getting the minutes. AJT says, Horford hitting over 6.5 rebounds tonight. Yeah, I think it's really likely now with there being no Robert Williams. Definitely like that. I'm still tilting over getting popped. LOL. Yeah, man. Popovich killed us last night. I don't know what, he closed the game without Keldon Johnson and just decided to play, Bates Diop and someone else. I don't even know. I was looking at it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I gave out Keldon Johnson, everywhere for my picks last night, and he was, 2 points or 3 points shy or something. And then Popovich just decides not to play him the last 6 minutes. So that's fun stuff. But whatever. You can't predict that stuff. I don't beat myself up on that. That is the definition of getting popped. Yeah, Popovich likes to do that to us daily fantasy sports players, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Skylar says, Tatum over 2.5 threes, Brown over 4 free throws. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not targeting either of those. Looking at my premium content sheet over here on Patreon, on my side monitor here as far as how the... Or I'll just pull it up right on the front monitor. I'll give you guys a free sneak peek of one of my sheets. I have 18 of these. But this is a sneak peek of what I offer for the premium content package, guys. So this is my defensive shooting accuracy sheet. So this will tell you the accuracy that teams have allowed to opposing players from each, spot on the floor. So I have the rim rank, around the rim, short mid-range, the long mid-range rank, all mid-range rank, corner 3 rank, non-corner 3 rank, and all 3 ranks. So this will give you an idea of how good teams are defensively against each particular shot. And you said you like the Tatum over 2.5 threes. Jason Tatum's taking on the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. And when you go back to my sheet and you see how the Philadelphia 76ers have been grading out defensively, against the three-point arc. They are number 1 in the league defensively against three-pointers. So, don't get me wrong. Jason Tatum's a really good talent. He's certainly capable of putting up more than 2.5 threes and making them tonight. But I would just give you a disclaimer that the Philadelphia 76ers are the number 1 team in the league defensively against the three-point shot. So, yeah, put that on the screen for free there for a little bit, guys. If you want access to all these sheets, I offer a defensive shooting accuracy. That's what this sheet is right here. Offensive shooting accuracy, defensive shooting frequency, which teams are giving up the most shots where, from a frequent aspect, defensive transition, offense transition, defense, half-court putbacks, offense, half-court putbacks, team stats, 4 factors, my core plays, and my projections, which is on this screen, but I have the projections hidden right now. So, yeah. Just so you know, I offer all those sheets, and I don't mind giving a free sneak peek every once in a while, give you guys some value. All I ask is that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you haven't done that and you're watching my content and winning money every night from it, you selfish. Larry says, Garland or Holiday on DK? Definitely Garland, because Giannis Antetokounmpo is back in the rotation now. Joseph says, when do you think Harden starts to give up on the Sixers and starts dogging it? Joseph, I think that's going to happen in approximately 3.5 weeks. Give him a solid 3.5 weeks, and then he'll be back to normal James Harden. Emperor says, do you think LeVert will take away from Garland usage? No, because they're playing LeVert off the bench. So LeVert's going to get all the usage with the second unit, and Garland's going to get all the usage with the first unit. They might play on the floor at the same time at times, but overall, the fact that they're splitting their usage in minutes, I feel pretty good about, going with some Darius Garland. They're not going to be cutting into each other's usage in the starting minutes. So, to answer your question, I don't think he takes away from his usage too much. There's going to be times where they share the floor, and that will happen, but I like the fact that they're splitting the starting and bench minutes. Tat says, small forward or shooting guard, 5,500 on FanDuel. Let's see. Shooting guard, small forward, FanDuel. Shooting guard, 5,500. D'Anthony Melton's 5,600. If John Morant's out, I'd really like him. Kelly Oubre's 5,800. Kevin Huerter's playing a lot of minutes. He gets a lot of usage at 5'3". I don't really think I like the 5,500 shooting guards too much, to be honest. There. Yeah, I mean, I don't like these guys too much, to be honest with you. I think Lance Stevenson at 5,100 is a pretty intriguing option. He's getting a lot of minutes, and he's been producing at a really high rate. So, yeah, 5,500 or point guard. Well, let me pull up what I have for my projections right now, too. That'll give me more of an idea. But from a first glance, I think I would probably go with Lance, 5,500. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of guys dialed in the 5,500 range. I mean, right now, based on my projections and everything, and based on FanDuel scoring, if I had to pick one guy, I would go with DeAndre Hunter. There is no John Collins in this one. He played 37 minutes last time out with no John Collins. And he's really great at racking up the blocks and steals. So DeAndre Hunter, I think, is the, quote-unquote safest play. I do think that Lance Stevenson has some high upside as well, though. So I'd pick DeAndre Hunter. Do you think Lance Stevenson is worth the play tonight? Yeah, I do. In tournaments. Cash games, I think there's better options for cash games. Like, I'd just rather go other places for cash games. But, yes, I do think he's in play for tournaments. I mean, he's playing a lot of minutes. Indiana continues to play Halliburton, Stevenson, Buddy Hield, Brissett, a lot of minutes. So, yeah. Especially on DraftKings. If you're playing on DraftKings, Lance Stevenson's price tag's a lot friendly over there. He's only 4K. He's grading out as a really great play for me at 4K on DraftKings. So, I don't know which website you're playing on, FanDuel or DraftKings, but if you're playing on DraftKings, I like Lance quite a bit, man. I like him quite a bit. He's grading out as one of the top plays. Once again, I would prefer DeAndre Hunter to him. But I'm also light. I'm light on Lance's minute projection right now. I'm pretty light on his minutes, just to be safe, because if I wasn't light on his minutes, I'd be getting like all the Lance Stevenson in the world. So I think based upon my projection model, there's definitely more room for upside, and Lance still grades out as a pretty great play for me. So, do you like Oubre? Of course I like Oubre, man. He's the thumbnail boy. Come on, man. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I like Oubre. He's a little bit more versatile than some of these other options, like a Miles Bridges, like a LaMelo Ball, like a Terry Rozier. Those three guys I'd really be looking to lock in on. But I think Kelly Oubre is a really great play as long as there's no Gordon Hayward. I was really concerned about him when Gordon Hayward was in the rotation, but without there being Gordon Hayward now, I certainly like him. Only played 20 minutes last time out, but I think that's a bit of an outlier. I think we see his minutes start to climb back up. So, yes, I do like Kelly Oubre. And the price tag's cheaper than all these guys, man. He's $5,900 on DraftKings as far as FanDuel is concerned for Kelly Oubre. Let's see where they got him at. $5,800. Yeah, I mean, the price tag's really, really great. Once again, a tournament play for sure. Like, I wouldn't be playing him in cash, but I mean, the upside's really big here. Emperor says, Lance burns me every time. Yeah, man. Honestly, I don't really think I played too much Lance this year myself. So, he either burns me. If the only way he could burn me is if I don't have him. But, like I said, on DraftKings specifically tonight, I do think I have quite a bit of interest. FanDuel, DraftKings, he's looking pretty good. And then Nicholas Batum, too. I mean, Nicholas Batum looks like a really great play for me in my projection model right now. He's really cheap on both websites. He's only 3.7 over here on FanDuel. I've got him projected to play 30 minutes. Puts up 0.82 DK points per minute on the season. As far as FanDuel is concerned, he puts up 0.82 FanDuel points per minute as well. So I think Batum's somewhat interesting. I'm a little concerned about the blowout with the LA Clippers, but there's no more Norman Powell. We saw him play 29 minutes last time out in a close game. He put up 31.5 DraftKings points. I do think that Nicholas Batum's grading out as a pretty great play. I think Bridges, Hornets smashes tonight. Yeah, man, he should. He hasn't had a big game in quite some time. I hope that I'm hoping that the game log watchers stay away from him. That would make me really happy because I can promise you I'll be having a ton of him. So, you know, only 23, 36, 38. He put up 49 like 4 games ago, but he really hasn't had the biggest of games as of late. But I don't think that stays true tonight. The price tag has come down. He's come all the way down from 8K to 7.6. This is the perfect storm to be loading up on him, especially if people love to log in DraftKings and FanDuel and pull up the game logs and look at how they've done recently. And if they haven't been performing great recently, they're like, oh, well, he's not doing good lately. Well, that's the wrong way to play NBA DFS, man. You got to be looking at the game environment, the pace, the fantasy point per minute production. Don't be getting fooled by these game logs. You got to understand the context. If a guy gets in foul trouble or if he gets hurt and has to go to the locker room for 10 minutes or something, you know, I'm just saying, man, that's the wrong way to be approaching your lineup. So, AJT says, is Jaw sitting out tonight for the back-to-back? If so, Horford or Jaren Jackson on FanDuel? Jaw's not confirmed as out. He still says questionable. My lean is the fact that it is a back-to-back. I talked about that earlier. I think they rest him in this first game and then play him, you know, next game. That's my lean, but we don't have confirmation on that. So if he's out, Horford or Jaren Jackson on FanDuel? I don't know, man. Both? I'm going to like both of them, honestly. Jaren Jackson's 7'9". I mean, Al Horford's only 6'5", so that's going to give you a lot more room for navigating other stuff in your lineups. So I would go with Al Horford if I had to pick one. But, I mean, I'm going to like both those guys a lot if that's the case, if there's no Jaw. So, thoughts on game stacking? Ball, Rozier, Bridges, Edwards, Pat Bev for cash games. I definitely don't hate it. If you have exposure to Ball, Rozier, and Bridges, if it's at all possible to get exposure to a second one of the big three on the other side, like a D'Angelo Russell or a Karl Anthony Towns, I think that could benefit you a little bit more there. If you don't have the salary, though, I understand. You could just go with Papev. But I just think if you have 3 of the main guys on, Charlotte, and you're projecting that they all get there at their price tags, you're probably going to want to have at least 2 of the main guys on the other side. Minnesota's favored by 6 here. If you have all those guys on Charlotte, your build's saying that this game stays close. And if this game stays close, Minnesota has 125 implied team total. But, I mean, Pat-Bev could certainly outperform his price tag. So if you can't get up to those other guys based upon your lineup construction, we live in the world of a salary cap. You can only do what you can do. But if you can, would highly recommend that you do so. All right, guys, it's 6:30. Honestly, I got to bounce out of here pretty soon, but I want to make sure all your questions are answered. If you have any last really important questions, please ask them. I'm going to stick around for another 5 minutes to make sure I answer all the questions. And if you're enjoying the stream, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. And if you haven't signed up for the premium content package, you can do so by heading on over here to patreon.com/KJK_DFS. And if you haven't signed up for the sponsor of the program, Pirates Picks, you should go ahead and do so. Use that promo code KJKDFS to receive an instant match deposit up to $100. I just put the link for the Patreon in the chat. I'll also put my Prize Picks sign-up link. You could just go ahead and use that promo code KJKDFS, but if you want to use the link, I'll just put that in there if you're interested in that. So both of those are in there. And like I said, 5 minutes. So let's do a speed round of questions. Make sure I'm answering all those before I head out. Then I'm going to be updating those projections, core plays, answering all my questions in the Discord chat. Larry says, if Miranda's out, who would you pick, Bane or Heald? Definitely Bane. Emperor says, Rozier, Bridges, Brissett, Garland, Heald for core? Question mark. If you want my core, you got to become a premium content package. I'm not going to list my core, but if you're asking for your lineups, if that's a solid core, I definitely don't hate it. I don't think there's anyone in that core that's like an atrocious play, so I certainly would, if there was someone I was really concerned about, I would let you know, but I think that's pretty respectable. So yeah, I definitely don't mind that. Yeah, keep the questions coming, guys. If you're all set and you're satisfied with the stream, I guess we could end things, wrap it up, and just hit that like button out the way at the door. But just want to make sure I'm answering all the questions, guys. We'll keep our eyes on this injury news here. I believe I just got a new Twitter follower, so I want to give them a shout out if they're in the stream right now. The only Koiri, I believe is how you would say that. The only Koiri, if you're in the stream right now and you just followed me on Twitter, appreciate the follow. If you haven't followed me over on Twitter, follow me over there at KJK_DFS. I tweet out a lot of stuff over there as well. Bogdanovich is in. Yeah, exactly. We got that confirmation a few minutes ago. So Bogdanovich is in. Grant Williams will start for injured Robert Williams. So Grant Williams maybe becomes a more interesting play as well. I'm going to have to do my latest projection run for sure. But that is a piece of news that's somewhat interesting here. Yeah. Let's see. Grant Williams. See my latest projection run here. For my premium content members, I'm going to be updating this. Actually, Grant Williams does grade out as a really great play for me now. At a 3-2 price tag on DraftKings. I think he's pretty interesting. But all right, guys, I got to bounce out of here. Hopefully you win some money tonight. Wishing you all the best of luck on this slate tonight. And we will see you guys in the next one.